This question comes from Ted, who asks, how quickly would the oceans drain if a circular portal 20 meters in diameter appeared at the bottom of the Challenger Deep, which is the deepest spot in the ocean? How would the Earth change as the water was being drained? Okay, I want to get one thing out of the way first. According to my rough calculations, if an aircraft carrier sank and got stuck against the drain, the pressure would be enough to easily fold it up and suck it through. Cool. Also, where's the other end of this portal? I vote we put it directly above the Mars Curiosity rover. That way, it can finally find incontrovertible evidence of liquid water on Mars's surface. So what happens back on Earth when the portal opens? Not much. It would take hundreds of thousands of years for the ocean to drain. Even though the opening is wider than a basketball court, and the water is being forced through at incredible speeds, the oceans are huge. The water level would drop by much less than a centimeter per day. There wouldn't even be a cool whirlpool on the surface, because the opening is just too small and the ocean is too deep. But let's suppose we speed up the draining by opening more or bigger drains at the bottom of Challenger Deep. Here's how the world looks at the start, and here's the map after the oceans drop 50 meters. It's pretty similar, but there are a few small changes. Great Britain, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Java, and Borneo are all now connected to their neighbors. And after 2,000 years of trying to hold back the sea, the Netherlands is finally high and dry. Some of the dikes they built would now be holding in the sea rather than holding it out. As world experts on reclaiming land from the ocean, now that they're no longer preparing for the constant threat of a cataclysmic flood, they could turn their energies outward, expanding onto the newly revealed sea floor. When the sea level reaches minus 100 meters, the Black Sea stops shrinking because it's no longer connected to the ocean. As the water level falls, more and more basins get cut off from the drain in the Pacific. Depending on the details of the sea floor in each basin and the exact speed of draining, the outflow of water might carve a deeper channel, allowing it to flow for longer, but most basins will at some point become landlocked and stop draining. By 200 meters of sea level fall, the map is really starting to look weird. New islands are appearing. Indonesia is a big blob. The Netherlands now controls much of Europe. At 500 meters, Japan becomes a causeway that connects the Korean peninsula with Russia. New Zealand gains new islands. The Netherlands expands north. After the top kilometer of the oceans have drained, the Arctic Ocean becomes cut off and its water level stops falling. New Zealand, which appropriately was named after a province in the Netherlands, continues to grow dramatically. Meanwhile, the Old Zealanders cross the land bridge into North America. When the sea is dropped by 2 kilometers, we see new islands popping up left and right. The Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico lose their connections with the Atlantic. I don't even know what New Zealand is doing. I don't think New Zealand knows either, but it's in keeping with its Dutch namesake. At 3 kilometers, many of the peaks of the Mid-Ocean Ridge, which is the world's largest mountain range, break the surface. Vast swaths of rugged new land emerge and prepare to be overrun by Dutch engineers. By 5 kilometers, most of the major oceans have become disconnected and stopped draining. The exact locations and sizes of the various inland seas are hard to predict, but by this point, New Zealand and Old Zealand are almost certainly reunited. When the drain finally empties, there is a surprising amount of water left, although a lot of it consists of very shallow seas with a few trenches where the water might be as deep as 4 or 5 kilometers. Vacuuming up so much of the ocean would massively alter the climate and ecosystems in ways that are hard to predict. At the very least, it would almost certainly involve a collapse of the biosphere and mass extinctions at every level. But it's possible, if unlikely, that humans could manage to survive. The Dutch are, after all, famous for engineering their way out of natural disasters. We'd be in good hands.